Hey, sixth grade. This is Mrs. Smallwood. This video is for Thursday, April 9th. This is the last video for this week because tomorrow is Good Friday and we won't be having anything coming to you from school. If you want to get caught up on work, you can. Or you can also take the day with your family to prepare yourself for Easter and to think about what happened on Good Friday and what it means for all of us as we consider the life and death of Jesus. As I'm going to jump in because we have a lot to cover in the video today. So the first thing I want to do is you got to the end of the Red-Headed League. I hope you enjoyed that story about Sherlock Holmes. And today we're going to find out a little bit more about its author, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I want you, if you have it, to open up your Worktext books, and you should be starting today on page 291. So if you haven't already done this activity, pause the video. And what you're going to do next is read page 291, look at the EARS strategy, which is evidence, ask, reach, sum up. And then using what you read on page 291, you're going to do page 293. So I want you to look through that. You're going to think about what you already know, ask what you hope to learn, reach for new information, and then write about what you've learned. So your first step is to do these 3 pages and then come back after you've done that because I'm going to read something to you. So again, pause if you haven't. Okay, and now I'm hoping you unpaused. I'm going to read to you a little bit more than you learned on page 291 about Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was a practicing medical doctor in England. However, he had few patients and didn't earn much money. To make more money, he began writing stories. When his Sherlock Holmes stories became such a success, Conan Doyle ended his medical practice and devoted his time to writing. The idea for the character of Sherlock Holmes came from a teacher Conan Doyle had in medical school named Dr. Joseph Bell. Dr. Bell was known for his amazing ability to deduce facts about his patients before they said anything, just by observing them. The name Conan Doyle originally gave to the character of Sherlock Holmes was Ormond Sacker. Although Sherlock Holmes is a masterful detective, Conan Doyle had no training in police work or law. Many Sherlock Holmes fans turned to Conan Doyle for legal advice, expecting him to solve their problems as Sherlock Holmes would. In most cases, Conan Doyle declined to get involved in legal matters, except for a few occasions when he actually helped to prove the innocence of individuals. Although Conan Doyle's most famous works are his Sherlock Holmes stories, he preferred to write other things. In 1902, he wrote a pamphlet to try to change public opinion about the Boer War. The war had been widely criticized, but The war had been widely criticized, but Conan Doyle defended the part Britain played in it. As a result of his pamphlet, public opinion of the war quickly changed. For his service to his country, Conan Doyle was knighted, and from thenceforth, he was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. All right, the great part about this being on video is that if you missed something or you didn't quite catch everything I just read, you can always go back and listen one more time. And then as you do, you're going to do that final S. So this EARS strategy is evidence, ask, reach, and sum. So you're going to flip over to the final page you have in your work textbooks today, which is page 294. And on page 294, you're going to sum up what you heard in the story. Did you learn the answers to your questions? And those are the questions that you wrote on 293. If so, what was the answer to one of them? And what are 3 interesting things that you learned about Sir Arthur Conan Doyle? So I hope that you enjoy learning a little bit more about the author. I think it's fascinating that he wrote such a great detective without having any previous knowledge of police work or the law. So yeah, enjoy that. And then for your writing and grammar today, I should already have your limerick. So if for some reason you haven't turned it in, be sure you submit that on Google Classroom. You should today be finishing up your free verse poem. After you've, and I've included in yesterday's post a couple of videos to help you understand a little bit more about free verse and some examples. There's a big boundary here. You can do a lot of things. There's not really a way to get this wrong, except by not doing it. So be sure that you do turn one in, and then you have checklists you can use on pages 268 and 270. Now, I would just say, even on page 270, your proofreading checklist, where they ask about capitalization and punctuation, I'm going to give you a lot of freedom here. I do not think you have to capitalize the first word in a sentence and do this all exactly the right way. Because in free verse poetry, sometimes using incorrect punctuation or incorrect capitalization actually sort of highlights what your poem is about or can call attention to things in interesting ways. So don't be lazy and do it poorly because I'm not requiring it to be well punctuated. But if you can think of clever ways where you don't use capitalization or punctuation appropriately, I'd love to see that. I can't wait to read your poems. Once you've finished, do submit them in Google Classroom under the Classwork tab. You just add that as an attachment, and I can't wait to see what you have. Finally, today, we're ending our week, as we usually do in English class, with your spelling test. This is list 28, so I'm going to give you one more chance here that you might need to pause and get a blank piece of paper and a pencil as we begin writing. Remember that you are grading your own test. So after we've finished and I am done, you'll go get your spelling book and then check your work. And then I'd love for you to send this to me also through Google Classroom. You just snap a pic and submit that there, just so that I can see how you're keeping up and what this week was like for you in terms of spelling words. So here's your chance to pause. And then hopefully you have everything you need now. We can keep going. So for list 28, we'll start with number 1. And I might go a little faster than I normally do, but remember you can always pause as we're going and then write your word and come back. Number 1 is instruct. Mrs. Ford will instruct us about entering and exiting the stage. Instruct. Number 2, submission. I want to show submission to God by obeying His word. Number 3, instruction. My little sister takes gymnastics instruction. Instruction. Number 4, submit. John's dogs will submit to commands for a treat. Submit. Number 5, construction. The church began construction of a new Sunday school wing. Construction. Number 6, educate. The coach works to educate the players about good game strategies. Educate. Number 7, production. Henry Ford's company used mass production to make cars. Number 7 is production. Number 8, introduce. I will introduce my grandparents to my teacher at the recital. Introduce. Number 9, dismissal. We had early dismissal the last day before the holidays. Number 10, construct. Or you could say construct. Uncle Juan will construct a storage shed for his lawnmower and tools. Construct. 11, introduction. The book has an interesting introduction. Introduction. Number 12, promise. Don't make a promise you know you can't keep. Number 12 is promise. Number 13, admit. It is best to admit that you made a mistake and try to correct it. Admit. Number 14, structure. The structure of the buildings is designed to endure earthquakes. Structure. Number 15, permit or permit. Grandpa bought a permit for freshwater fishing. Number 15 is permit or permit. Number 16, conductor. Copper is an excellent conductor and is used to make electric wires. Number 16 is conductor. Number 17, permission. Permission. We have permission to ride our bikes in our subdivision. Permission. Number 18, destructive. Various animals and insects are destructive to gardens. Destructive. Number 19, admission. Aunt Caroline paid my admission to the festival. Admission. And number 20, reproduce. She was able to reproduce her report since she saved a copy in her computer files. Number 20 is reproduce. Now you can take a chance to go back and look at your words, see which ones you missed, and if there's a strategy you can come up with to remember how to do it correctly so that you can use these words as you continue as a writer. Can't wait to see your poems. Be sure to send those to me. Hope you guys have a great Easter weekend. I miss being able to see you every day, but I'm really thankful for the hope that we have in Jesus that we get to think about at Easter time, and the good news that because of Jesus' sacrifice for us, we are all together part of God's family forever. Love you guys. Bye.